Hey guys, welcome back to Prasan in Östersund. My body has held up well this season. I'm stoked about that, and that is what we are going to talk about today. The end of the season. Now, I've ran all the races I wanted to run except for the High Coast Ultra, but I am to be excused on that one since I actually broke my collarbone in 2 places and had to recover from that, and I haven't seen the last of that injury so far. Unfortunately, next year I'm going to have to go into surgery again to get rid of the titanium plate and the screws I have in my shoulder. So yeah, that's that. Why do I say that? The season is ending right now in November. Still 2 months left of the year. For starters, I have no more races, but I have a major race planned in for February, and right today, or actually yesterday, is when I start training for that race. That race is Trans Gran Canaria, outside Africa on the western coast. That is going to be quite a trip, I can imagine, and quite an adventure as well. I'm going to run the 83k distance, or the 50-mile distance. I've never ran that far before in my whole life, so we'll see how that goes. This video is actually the end of last season, as well as the start of the next, since this is the starting point of the huge training block spanning over several months. I have 4 months until the race, so I'm going to make the most of them. Try to run at least 4 times a week, and if I can, I'll do more runs than that. So we'll see how it goes. But so far, I'm really stoked about this season. I've been breaking PRs on my races, and yeah, I've been recording the races, and you guys seem to like them, so I'll continue documenting my journey. Basically, the last year has been crazy. I was at the peak of my fitness last February, and then I fell on my snowboard while doing tricks in the park, and I broke my shoulder, and I basically had to stay away from everything that involved heavy physical exercise for the next 2 months. The only thing I could do was to take short walks. So yeah, my whole fitness basically just disappeared, and I had to start all over again. At first I ran something like 2 kilometers without stopping, then I ran 3, then I ran 3.5, and so on. And then all of a sudden, I was in the beginning of June, and I had a ticket for the High Coast Ultra, and I wanted to push it and to train as hard as I could before the race. So I did, and it went great all up till the point where I fell on the trail and I hit my shoulder, and I knew that I was out for the High Coast Ultra. Couldn't do it. Yeah, I basically just set my goals on the next race, the Axafjäll Marathon that I had in August. So I gave myself proper time to heal up and rest. Basically just start all over from scratch again, building up distance, building up fitness, and I did that for 2 months. And came race day, I was fairly fit, but I felt great coming into the race. And I knew how to run my race in a strategic way, taking it easy at the start and then amping up the tempo towards the end. And it was a success. That was probably the best race I had this year, although I ran the same distance during the High Coast Trail Marathon in a shorter amount of time. But the conditions at Axelfjell Marathon was a lot worse. So I see that race as my biggest success so far. And although a lot of sad things has happened during the last year, probably the best thing so far has been that due to the low intensity heart rate workouts in my training, my body has finally adapted fully to running, and it feels great, you know. Now I can actually go out whenever I want, even the day after I completely left myself knackered on a long trail run. I'm out running, you know. My body has finally adapted. It has taken at least 6 months, and before that a couple of years as well, you know, fighting shin splints, fighting sprained ankles, fighting other kinds of injuries like falls and stuff. I'm finally there. It feels absolutely amazing. Now I can train 6 times a week if I feel like it, like 6 hours a week easily. Alright, I'll be tired afterwards, but I'm not getting injured any longer, and that's awesome. And at the times when I do push the tempo and I press on, I can feel that I have a different kind of power in my legs, and it feels great. So that is probably the best thing about getting back and getting serious with running. I mean, I've always loved running, and I've been semi-serious with it up until this year. I was running 3 times a week, maximum 4 times. Now I run more often, and I also do more diverse training, like technical running, easy days. I go to the gym more often, and I build on my core muscles and stuff. That has really worked out well, and it is awesome. So I think that is what I wanted to say today. I'm not going to drag this into a 30-minute video. There's no need for that. So I hope you guys are enjoying the video so far, and that you're excited to come along on the journey towards the Trans-Gran Canaria next year. Yeah, in 4 months. So basically I have a fairly cold and brutal winter to train through, and after that, in the middle of winter, in February up here, we go to Gran Canaria to run. Insane. I don't know how I am going to do it, but I am going to do it. But if that means I have to walk the last 5 hours of the race, so be it. Still gonna go to the island and have my little run. So since we're going into winter now, it's going to be hard to record videos since the GoPro doesn't work well in dark conditions. So if I'm thinking about it in a very optimistic way, I think that maybe we'll be able to make 1 video per month, maybe a bit more, I don't know. So that means that the race is going to be within 4 to 6 videos, that is. Now if you do want to know what I'm up to, I highly encourage you to follow me on Instagram, because I'm more active there than on YouTube. with that said, go follow me on Instagram if you want to know more about what I'm doing. And thank you for watching the videos that I make. It really do means a lot. I'll see you guys around somewhere later on this winter. Bye.